Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jai Hind, Namaskar. So I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good morning. I am good, Shubham. I hope all of you are also doing well. Good morning. So I welcome you all to this session of daily newspaper editorial. And in the last session, I have given you certain questions to practice. Okay. In last session, there was a question also to practice, which was related to fertilizer policy also. And one more question was also there. So how many of you have written the answer for that? I hope you have written answer for that question. You have written? Good. So here again, the first question. Good morning from Jharkhand. One is for women related job and all. Yes. So we had these two questions, and the first one was there is a need to revisit. There is a need to revisit India's fertilizer policy. It is required for environment, agriculture, and economy. So we have seen that last day we have discussed about this topic, how we can start this answer, like what will be the way of writing this answer. First of all, you have to write the introduction. Now okay, in introduction you can just give some facts. We have written many facts in the last session, that how we are using the fertilizers. You can mention that in India there is a huge subsidy on nitrogen based fertilizer, which can go up to even 90% or more than that. It has led to farmers using the nitrogen based fertilizers in almost double amount. So you can start with some facts with respect to the fertilizer. So now you can mention it individually. You can make a subheading that how the fertilizer. Acha, here you can make a uh, you can also make a flow chart. You can also make a flow chart to explain the same thing, that when we are using the fertilizers, then when we are having our fertilizer policy where there is a huge subsidy, so there is overuse or rather abuse of fertilizer. If you want, you can make it, or simply you can write it, the impact on environment. You can mention a subheading that why it is necessary for environment. Here you can mention that in the present times, when we are using fertilizers in this manner, when we are when we are using the fertilizers in this manner, how it is impacting our soil, how it is impacting our air, okay, how it is impacting our water. You can mention it there. Then you can mention about the agriculture also, that how our agriculture is getting impacted. Then you can mention that how the economy is getting impacted. So you can mention, you can make a subheading of each of these section, and you can mention that how it is impacting economy, how it is impacting agriculture, how it is impacting environment. Now tell me honestly, how many of you have made a subheading like this in order to show this? जैसे कई बार कई लोग क्या करते हैं, they are simply writing the point. Many of you may have written the point, but tell me this one part. How many of you have made individual subheadings for environment, agriculture and economy? आप में से कितने लोगों ने इसके लिए अलग सबहेडिंग बनाया है? नहीं नहीं, you have to give answer in your own language. You always have to give answer in your own language. You have not added the economy part. So these all three things were written in the question itself. And then after what you can do, you can make suggestion. You can make a flow chart of suggestion. Here you can have given the suggestion that what needs to be done with respect to our fertilizer. What needs to be done with respect to our fertilizer policy. After writing these three portions, you can make a flow chart on what suggestions you are going to give. What suggestions you are going to give with respect to this topic of fertilizer. That what we need to do. We need to increase the fertigation. We can also go for liquid nano urea. Okay. We can also be educating the farmers about the abuse and its impact of it. Direct benefit transfer was also there. So we have seen some suggestions with respect to that. What are the suggestions? How we can improve our fertilizer policy? And then after you have to write the conclusion. There you will again try to touch this part that a robust fertilizer policy is going to boost the productivity of agriculture, and at the same time it can maintain a sustainable economy and environment. Okay. So here you can again connect it with environment, agriculture and economy. It can boost the agriculture, it can be economically wise and environmentally sustainable. A robust fertilizer policy can boost the agricultural productivity. It may prove to be economically wise and environmentally sustainable. So this is one part which you can write in the conclusion. You have made the subheading, that's good. Sir, could you please tell points to represent the economic sector on this question? See, of course, you can write the economic part. When we talk about economy, you can see that we are having heavy dependency. We are having heavy dependency on import. We are having a heavy dependency on import. So, the second point which you can mention is the subsidy burden. That this subsidy burden, like due to the huge amount of subsidy, the second largest subsidy is on fertilizer. After the food, the second largest subsidy is on fertilizer. So this subsidy amount, it can be used for other like productive usage. This can be something, this can be transferred to other productive things. Okay. So it can be transferred to other, it could have been transferred to other productive. It could have been transferred to other productive factors. Okay. So you have 2 points for economy. Similarly, you can write 2 or 3 points for environment and 2 or 3 points for agriculture. Sir, can we give suggestion only in point or we need to elaborate in 1 or 2 lines? See, I think now you can understand. I have told you, just give the suggestion in the form of a flow chart itself. Not even required to keep it in a line. You can just mention the suggestion using keywords in a diagram or a flow chart. So there is no need to explain it. The word limit is 150 words. So you have to accommodate all the things within that word limit. I hope that is clear. So how much percentage of your answer is matching with this format? A 250 word answer completed within 246 words only. That's good. Very precise. So I think, see, many people say that how do we evaluate our answer? If you look at this, the way we are discussing the answer writing in these classes, you can evaluate your answer on daily basis. That have you included these components in the introduction? Have you mentioned a subheading like that? Have you mentioned suggestions? In the conclusion also, I told you what you could have written. So you're traveling in train. So while you are in the train, you can also write the answer. The trains are suitable for studying also. That is one beauty of the trains. So let's start. See, so there is this one simple thing. It's quite easy. It's quite easy to do the easy task. It's very much easier to do the easy task. But then if you are in that easy task, so you will be in that crowd. Okay. So you have to work there where there is high expectations and the demands to perform are high, because then only you are going to grow. So if you have to grow yourself, if you have to develop yourself, then you should be going in that domain. You should be working in that domain where the demands are quite high. Generally, if we talk about this, Aditya, more words are not wanted. If you are having 10 words less, that will be no problem. See, UPSC gives this one line, write within 150 words or less than 250 words, less than 150 words. So within or less than, not exactly that much word. We have to write in less than that much word. But it doesn't mean that you are giving answer in 25 words. If there is a 250 word answer and you are giving answer in just 25 words, then also it will not be sufficient. Now, coming to today's topic. So the first topic, just one second. So the first topic which we are having here is with respect to this balancing faith and ecology, are rivers taking the burn? So there is a very controversial issue, a very sensitive issue which has taken place recently. It is related to this one dimension, that cultural practices versus environment. Cultural practices versus environment. So what is the context here? Let us see this. Let us see one such previous year question with respect to that. Enumerate the national water policy of India. Taking river Ganges as an example, discuss the strategies which may be adopted for river water pollution control and management. What are the legal provisions for management and handling of hazardous waste in India? Okay. So you can see that there has been already question on how we can, what strategies are needed for controlling the river water pollution. There has already been a question at this, that what strategies can be adopted for controlling river water pollution. Now at the same time, this is related to GS paper 3, environmental pollution and degradation. Okay. Now just to give you an idea, in Narmada river, around 11,000 liters of milk, this were poured in Narmada river, and what was the aim? It was for purifying the river and bless Narmada Parikrama pilgrims. So around 11,000 liters of milk were poured in Narmada river, and the aim was that it will purify the river and it will also be providing the blessings to those people who have gone to that Narmada Parikrama pilgrims. So what we see, that there has been this one of the challenge, that many of our cultural practices where the people have a belief that it is for purifying the environment is turning otherwise. What we see other, at the same time, just to give you an idea, okay, when we are talking about the Varanasi Ghats, there is an average daily footfall of 2.5 lakh people. If we assume that 5 milliliter milk is being offered by everyone, 5 milliliter of oil, 1 flower per person, okay, that people are doing this minimum, that they are just pouring 5 ml of milk, 5 ml of this 5 ml of this oil and 1 flower. So then also it will become 1250 liters of milk, 5 tons of flour, and 1250 liters of oil also. We are not talking about the ashes, public offerings, and other waste. So even if we are taking a minimal, we see that huge amount of waste material is being generated in the rivers. And we believe that each and everything will be cleaned by Ganga river itself. कि हम गंगा नदी को पॉल्यूट करते रहेंगे, गंगा नदी को खुद साफ होती जाएगी. So even if we look at this, many of the flowers which we believe that what problem can be there with flower, but flower is also something which is a degradable substance. It is a biomass, it is a degradable substance. So it is also going to increase the pollution in the rivers. It is also going to be increasing the pollution in the rivers. So this is just one fact of what is happening with respect to our rivers. Okay. ये हमारे rivers के साथ आखिर हो क्या रहा है? Okay. Now, big issues were addressed by Kinshuk sir. Means कौन सा issues? Sir, is it like targeting our belief because sewage water is discharged everywhere? Ganga river, near Kolkata, near Belur, yes, everywhere. No, it's not just one-sided story. It's not just one-sided story. We see that river water pollution is not just a like one-side affair. It is not being caused just due to one thing. If we talk about river water pollution in India, what factors are there? One of the factor is the household sewage. The household sewage. This is being pumped into this is something which is pumped into rivers. And many a times without being treated. At the same time, we have the industrial waste materials. Many of them are harmful chemicals. They are also going up in the rivers. Then we have the agriculture. The runoff from agri fields consisting of fertilizers, crop or insecticide residue. So all these things are also going up into the river from agricultural fields also, from industry also, from household sewage also. But at the same time, these all things are also true that there is a industrial sewage also, there is a household sewage also, there is a agricultural runoff also. But at the same time, the cultural practices, they are also responsible for it. So it is not just unidimensional. It is not just unidimensional. It is coming from all the sides. Now suppose that if any biomass is going, if there is any biomass, let's say it is flour, let's say it is milk, let's say it is, sometimes we are also feeding we are feeding also the fishes, okay. Anything which is going there, okay. Or any other offerings. Let's say they are all biodegradable. they are all biodegradable. They are all biodegradable. So people think that if they are biodegradable, then what is the problem? If they are all biodegradable, then what is the problem? The problem is they will be degraded by the microbes. Okay. They are going to be degraded by microbes. They are going to be degraded by microbes. These microbes will require oxygen. These microbes are going to require oxygen. And let me give you an idea how much oxygen is there in water. How much oxygen is there in water? Just to give you one idea, if we are talking about the air, what we see that in normal case in air, we have 2 lakh oxygen per 10 lakh air. So if we are having 10 lakh particles of air, if we are having 10 lakh molecules of air, if we are having 10 lakh molecules of air, we are having 2 lakh molecules of oxygen in that, near about 20%. But in the case of river, this value is around 4 to 6 per 10 lakh. Okay. So you can see the difference in the air which we are breathing. There is 2 lakh oxygen particles per million. Per million, there are 2 lakh oxygen particles. But in the rivers, there is 4 to 6. Maximum, it can go up to 4 to 8. Let us say we are taking the best value altogether, 4 to 8 particles per million. We are taking the best value, that the water is very clean, very pure. Then in that case also, the oxygen level in the case of water is just 4 to 8 particles per million. And when the microbes are using the oxygen, there is going to be a lack of oxygen for other aquatic organisms. There is going to be a lack of oxygen for other aquatic organisms. What it will do? It will kill the organisms. It is going to kill the organisms. So when we are having anything like that, flour, milk, feeding fishes, any other offerings, or we are having domestic sewage, or we are having industrial sewage, in all these things, there is going to be an increased requirement of oxygen, and then the oxygen will be lesser in amount. This will lead to killing of the aquatic organism. So that is the concept here, that why this any such offering, any such domestic waste, any industrial waste or anything is a challenge for our rivers. So why they are a challenge? Because they are going to require oxygen, and the lack of oxygen is going to kill the organism. Aquatic will kill the microbes? No. The microbes will require the oxygen, and the lack of oxygen for other aquatic organisms will lead to killing of the organisms. So microbes will not be dead. What is the impact of milk on river? Milk is what? Milk is a biomass. Milk is also a substance which is subject to degradation. अगर आप मिल्क को छोड़ दोगे तो क्या मिल्क को बैक्टीरिया खाता है या नहीं? Milk is eaten by bacteria or not? Milk is eaten by bacteria or not? What is milk made up of? What is the milk made up of? If you are having milk on the ground, will it be eaten by bacteria or not? Will it get fermented or not? So everything which is there, like carbohydrate, fats, protein, they will be used by the bacteria. So why the bacteria will not use it? So what we see that these materials which are going on into our rivers, they are creating a challenge like this. Okay. Now, so first we have seen that how it is impacting our rivers. Now there is a argument which has been given by the newspaper. It's not my argument. It's not my argument. I am not countering this, that there should be no use of milk in religious places. I am not countering that. But the newspaper says that malnutrition has led to development of a Yashoda milk supply scheme in case of Madhya Pradesh. The 11,000 liter of milk, it could have been supplied to 2,200 kids daily for 20 days, or supplementing 10,000 plus for a week at the school program. This is the argument of the newspaper. This is not my personal argument. Okay. This is the argument of the newspaper, that the same milk could have been used for other purposes, for nutritional purposes. Especially when we talk about India, we see that there is a huge amount of malnutrition. Near about 60% of children under 5 are malnourished in India. There are 60% of children suffering from anemia in India. 60% children under 5, they are suffering from anemia in India. So that is one such context of it also. Meanwhile, if we talk about this, there was this NGT. NGT says that there is an unacceptable rise in pollution levels in Yamuna after the idol immersion. When there is immersion of idols in the river, then also there is an increase in the pollution. Why? There is use of heavy metal in paints and synthetic material. Now, our cultural practices was not about using synthetic paints and heavy metals. Our cultural practices was, if it was about making idols, it was not about making synthetic paint or like heavy metals. They were not part of our cultural practices at all, because they were not used in the past. This is something which is more of a matter of convenience and attractiveness in the present time. तो आज के समय में जो हम idols बनाते हैं, which are looking very good in appearance, it is use of synthetic chemicals, and they have not been part of it. So what we see that like during the events, according to Central Pollution Control Board, the government says that Central Pollution Control Board is an agency of the government of India, which says that during Kumbh Mela, Chhath Puja, Durga Puja and Ganesh Utsav, there is an increase in the biological oxygen demand in the rivers. There is an increase in the biological oxygen demand in the river. Biological oxygen demand. Okay. The same thing which we have seen, the oxygen which is demanded by the microbes in order to degrade the waste material. The oxygen which is required by the microbes to degrade the waste material. So during various festivals or such cultural organizations like Kumbh Mela, Chhath Puja, Durga Puja or Ganesh Utsav, there is a rise in the biological oxygen demand of the rivers. Okay. This is as per the Central Pollution Control Board. This is not as per newspaper. This is not as per anything. It is as per the government agency itself. Government says this. Okay. Now, at the same time, if we talk about the laws which are there, we have the Water Act and Article 21 of the Constitution. The Water Act, it is there for prevention and control of pollution, and Article 21, which says that there is a guarantee of a clean environment. Clean environment is a fundamental right of the people. So the same rivers which are getting polluted, they are going to be used by millions of other people for drinking water purposes. This is going to be used for drinking water purposes. And we have seen that in many areas there has been huge amount of diseases due to polluted rivers. Okay. Last day on Monday, we have seen this especially, that the Ghaggar river in Haryana, it has led to rise of cancer cases among the people. The Ghaggar river in Haryana has led to rise of cancer cases among the people. So what we see that these all challenges are there, there are laws, but despite this, there has been no such change. There is a NGT which has also said that like artificial tanks or regulated zones are going to be created for immersion of idols. That it has said that if people have a cultural practice of immersing the idols in the water, then you have to create an artificial tank for that purpose. It cannot be immersed anywhere in the river. There should be a separate zone for it where it can be immersed. So these all changes has been done. These all laws are there, but despite this, the water pollution remains one of the major issue of India. Despite spending lakhs of crores of money, on combating the river pollution, several rivers of India still are polluted, heavily polluted. People have different practices. See, again simple one thing. In the present times, the sentiments of people are so much vulnerable that I have one simple option on this: no comments on any religious practices. I can say only about this part, that what government and what editorials are saying. Okay. So this is one of the biggest challenge. So this is our first article. Coming to the second part, mapping legislative vacuum in India's heat crisis. Yes, very simple steps are needed. Very simple steps are needed. But again, it is about the willingness to work. It is about the willingness to work. If people are willing to work, they can easily clean the river. There is one simple thing. If people stop interfering with river, you will see that it will automatically become clean. During the times like COVID, when many industries were shut off for some period of time, within just 1 month, the rivers were quite clean. So when people stop interfering with rivers, you will find that it is becoming very much clean. You have to add that channel to your list, then only the notification will come. Now, coming to the second article, mapping the legislative vacuum in India's heat crisis. This article is about the heat crisis. This is about the heat crisis, its uneven impact. Okay. And like what should be done. This article is about three things. The heat crisis, uneven impact, and what should be done. Okay. Like, just to give you one idea, there was a question here: bring out the causes for the formation of heat islands in the urban habitat of the world. How does it affect weather and the habitants of the place? This was again a question in 2013, that what is this heat island effect and everything. This was one of the question in the examination in past also. Now, if we look at this, it is related to a disaster and disaster management, or in GS paper 1 also, a question can come with respect to geography. It can be a question from geography side also, it can be a question as part of disaster and disaster management also. So let us look at some facts first. Okay, पहले कुछ fact देख लेते हैं. In the last 2 years, around 57% of Indian districts are classified as heat prone. Around 57% districts of India has been identified as heat prone. Okay. Now, earlier it was mostly in the arid northwest and central plain, but now it is also there in humid coastal corridors and the temperate regions. So now it is going in the coastal areas also and in the mountain regions of India also. So now we see that first part is like 57% districts, they are impacted, plus there is a geographical expansion. There is a geographical expansion of the heat. It has expanded to the coastal areas. Coastal areas were having an impact of ocean. They were having a moderating impact of ocean. Coastal areas में moderating impact हुआ करता था. But now that impact is also gone. We see that there is a heat wave in the coastal humid areas also. Plus at the same time in the mountainous zones also, in the temperate regions also of India, we see that there is an increase in the heat. Heat is spreading. Heat is spreading. Almost 3/5 of the country is prone to heat wave now. But again, this heat, it has got uneven impact. It has got this uneven impact. Okay. How the uneven impact is there? The rich class, they have got access cooling. They have got access to the cooling equipments. The rich class, they have got this cooling equipment. But then we have a class of gig workers. We have a class of gig workers acting as delivery agents. So if we talk about them, they are having high exposure to heat. They are having this high exposure to heat. Then we have again one class of people, the street vendors. The street vendors. Again, we see that exposure to heat. Then we have the sanitation workers. Sanitation workers. Now they have a dual effect. They are having the dual effect. They are having exposure to heat plus exposure to toxic gases due to excess temperature. When the temperature rises, there is release of toxic gases. There is formation of various chemicals. So sanitation workers are also having exposure to all these things. Okay. So this sanitation workers are also having exposure to all of these challenges. So what we see that there is an uneven impact. There is an uneven impact of this heat on people. And for all of them, for all of these workers which we see, there is a loss of productivity. There is a loss of productivity. There is a loss of wages. And there is a harm to their health. So they are losing their health also. they are losing their health also, they are losing their wages also. So there is a dual burden. There is a dual burden in case of, there is a dual burden in case of the these workers. The workers from the gig economy, the workers like street vendors, the rickshaw pullers, those people who are working on the field, factories worker also. There is a field worker. There is a field worker. There is a field worker. They are also having high exposure to heat. They are also having this high exposure to heat. So even the field workers who are there, they are having this high exposure to the heat. Okay. There is now working from 4 to 12 to 4 p.m. Yes, of course, 12 to 4 p.m. Okay. Now, the challenge there is this one part, that when we are talking about the gig workers, when we are talking about those workers who are getting wages on basis of hours of working, those who are getting wages on hours of working, they are losing. Those who are those who are working in offices, those who are working in factories within an indoor location, they are not getting harmed. The impact is on those people who are working outside and those who are working on a contractual basis. The impact is on those people. The impact is on those people who are working on the field. So what we see here, okay, just to give you an idea, if we talk about the legislation, the Factories Act of 1948 protects only those who are in indoor workrooms. It is not protecting the people who are working outside. Okay. There is a Occupational Safety, Health and Working Condition Code 2020. Okay. So outdoor heat is not counted as part of this. The outdoor heat is not counted under this part. So most of our legislation is focusing on heat inside the place. It is not addressing the heat outside. Okay. Then at the same time, there is a section 23 of the same code which allows the government to notify standards for weather. Okay. That government can notify some standards for weather, that in this weather what can be done, should there be allowed or not, should they be getting more wages or not. So there is this one part that government can do this, but there is not a mandate on government to do it. Government, if they will, they can announce it. If they are not willing, there is no such necessity on the government to announce it. It is not mandatory for the government to announce such a policy, such a mandate. So what we see that basically most of the legislations in India are protecting the indoor workers, but the outdoor workers are lacking the legislation. We see that first part we have seen that what is the heat, second part we have seen the uneven, third part we have seen the laws which are there, which are missing. Okay. Now see, what is the solution? The 16th Finance Commission, it has said that heat waves and lighting can be in the disaster list. Okay. So what is the benefit? If they are added to the disaster list, it means the disaster fund can be used for compensation. The disaster response fund, it can be used for compensation. यहाँ से उनको compensation मिल सकता है. If a heat wave is announced as a disaster, then the government will be paying the compensation for those people who are at loss due to the heat wave. Then we see that the Ministry of Labor and the Indian Meteorological Department, they have to get this heat index. They have to get a heat index. Now, many a times it may show that in your mobile phones, the temperature may be around 30 degrees Celsius, but the real feel can be up to 35, 37 degrees Celsius. because the other conditions like humidity and local factors can make it much more worse. So the temperature reading may be around 35 degrees Celsius, but the local conditions may further aggravate the challenge. So the Indian Meteorological Department and the Labor Ministry should come with a plan of heat index which can incorporate these factors. Yeah. So this is also one part which we see here. Now the third part, okay, under this like occupational safety and other code, heat safety rules like protected work rest cycle and provision of specialized personal protective equipment. Okay. This should be something which should be provided to the outdoor workers also. Protected work rest cycles. Protected work rest cycle means they need to be paid for this. That if a person is working for 8 hours, so they should get some rest hours also within that 8 hours. तो इसमें कुछ उसको rest hours की भी जरूरत पड़ेगी. Then we see that again, right to cool must be recognized as a fundamental right under Article 21. Okay. So there must be suitable cooling shelters and free public water kiosks. Okay. So this is an innovative idea that we should have suitable cooling shelters. There should be some places where people can take rest for some time. Like suppose if there are rickshaw pullers, if there are other people, street vendors, they should be getting a 20-minute, 30-minute rest in these cooling shelters. So they should be having a time bound, like it's not possible to give them the shelter for day and night, but then it can be regulated. It can be for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. There can be card based access. You have to be there for 20 minutes or 30 minutes and you can take rest there. Then you can go outside and again work. So cooling shelters are something which can be built by the municipality. But then again, it is quite an ambitious task. In our country, in various municipal corporations, they have not been able to provide a proper bus stop. हमारे यहाँ कई जगह बस स्टॉप प्रॉपर नहीं है. So having a cooling shelter is a distant dream. Having a cooling shelter in case of the municipalities in India is a distant dream. Okay. Sir, as an UPSC aspirant, what is more important? To think practically or emotionally? You don't have to think. You have to just get the data. You have to just get the information and you have to practice for answer writing. No need to get emotionally attached with any topic. You don't have to get emotionally attached at this time. Take selection, improve the situation. There is no need to become an activist during the time of your preparation. What you have to do, you have to read all the topics, you have to get all the idea, do not get affected by it. Read about them, know about them, have the knowledge about them. And then once you become an officer, then you can think about improving it. But right now, you don't have to get too much emotional about any topic. After getting job, you can work for your area. You can do anything which you want, subject to many other things. So this is one part of the solution which may be there. Okay. For the gig economy also, there should be legally prohibited from imposing delivery time or penalties during the heat alert. Okay. So there is a need of prohibiting them from imposing delivery time penalties and also having a thermal safety net for workers. So this is one of the part which you have to do. And there should be financial compensation to cover the loss of income when heat extremes are there. So what we see that it has to be based on compensation, law plus compensation. These are the mix of two things which has to be provided in case of heat wave. So I hope that is clear. देखो इमोशनल अभी नहीं होना है. I know the topics in UPSC and especially the editorials are quite like thought-provoking articles. They are quite thought-provoking articles that what is happening with people and everything. But you don't have to get emotional here. You have to know about the facts from here. You have to know about the different sides from here. And then on the basis of it, once you are getting selected, then you can do as per your wishes. Now, coming to the next part, this article is about food waste. It is about food waste in India. This article is about food waste in India or across the world. That what are the factors which are responsible for it? Factors responsible behind it. That what are the factors responsible and what are the solutions to it. We will also see some facts related to this. So if you look at this, there has been a question. What are the salient features of National Food Security Act 2013? How has the Food Security Bill helped in eliminating hunger and malnutrition in India? So from this topic of food security, there has already been a question in the exam. It is related to your GS paper 3, food security. Okay. It is related to your GS paper 3, food security. So let us look at some facts. United Nations Environment Program, it says that world has wasted 1.05 billion tons of food in 2024. Okay. This much amount of food has been wasted. 1 billion ton. 1 billion ton food, 1.05 billion ton food, it has been wasted worldwide. We see that around 783 million people they are facing hunger, and more than 3.1 billion are unable to afford a healthy diet. Almost 1/3 population of the world, almost 1/3 population of the world is not able to afford a healthy diet. 783 million people. It means around 78 crore people are facing hunger. 783 million people are facing hunger. At the same time, around 1/3 of world population, even more than that, 3.1 billion people are not able to afford a healthy diet. And we are wasting how much? 1.05 billion tons of every year. Now, coming to this one part, India, we rank second globally in food waste. We are having food wastage of near about 78 to 80 million ton. We are having a food wastage of 78 to 80 million ton, and we are losing 1.55 lakh crore rupees. We are wasting food which is having a value of 1.55 lakh crore rupees. Okay. Can you tell me one thing? What is the food subsidy in India? This is one interesting comparison which you can see. What is the food subsidy bill in India? Just to give you one idea, food subsidy cost. Okay. Now, just once again, to give you an idea, we are having a food subsidy of 2.27 lakh crore. And food waste is 1.55 lakh crore. So you can see that like almost it is almost 70% of our food subsidy cost. The government is spending 2.27 lakh crore rupees just to provide food to the people, affordable food to the people. The PDS system which we are having, the public distribution system which we are having an expenditure of 2.27 lakh crore rupees to provide affordable food to the people. And we are wasting food worth 1.55 lakh crore rupees annually, second highest in the world, followed by China. So now the question is, if we look about again one more part, India ranks 111 out of 125 countries in global hunger index, and around 194 million people do not get sufficient amount of food in India. There is around 194 million people in India who are not getting sufficient amount of food. Then what we see that per capita food waste in India is around 55 kg annually, which is lower than US and Germany. So again, one part is there that it's not that we are the only one who are wasting the food. In US also there is a huge wastage of food. In Germany also there is a huge wastage of food. Their population is less, so what we see that their numbers are on the lower side. But if we compare on a per capita basis, they are wasting much more higher amount of food than us. So what we see that like we are having huge amount of food wastage. Now the question is why? What factors are responsible behind this? What are the factors which are responsible? Okay. Again, one more part, some more facts here. Food loss and waste, they are accounting for 8 to 10% of global greenhouse gas emission. When we are waste, like the waste food, this is getting decomposed. This one is releasing greenhouse gas, and it is responsible for 8 to 10% of global greenhouse gas emission. It is more than the greenhouse gas emission caused by India. India will be on 4th number. Okay, you will find that if food waste was a country, it would be the 3rd largest emitter of greenhouse gas after China and US. So what we see that this food waste is there, loss of economy, loss of food for the people, that people are not getting food, plus environment is also getting polluted. Environment is also getting polluted. So we are looking at this one part, economy, environment and malnutrition. India is one of the largest producer of food, that is also true, but India is the 2nd largest country with food waste also. So this is one thing which we see here. Now, what are the factors? First thing is inadequate post-harvest storage capacity, and even the households which are there, they account for 60% of the food loss. Inadequate post-harvest storage capacity and the households, they account for 60% of food waste. What we also see, the food services and the retail, they are remaining counting for 40%. So the household and the inadequate storage, facilities are responsible for it. How many of you have seen rotten tomatoes being thrown on the rotten tomatoes? You may have seen rotten potatoes, rotten lychee. I don't know, you may have seen this. Lychee is one of the very costly, it is one of the very costly fruits in many of the metro cities of India. It is one of the very costly fruits in the metro cities. I belong to the city which is known for the production of lychee. And lychee is one thing, once you have got it from the, once you have taken it out from that plant, you have to either consume it or you have to store it at cool places. You have to store it in cold storage. But I have seen that how the lychee is going to waste. You have seen some landfills. You may have seen some landfills. In landfills, you may have seen that a farmer is there or a laborers are there who are just like removing the items through plow. वो अलग अलग इक्विपमेंट से जो गंदगी होते हैं उसको हटाते हैं. Will find that in Muzaffarpur, many places, the lychee is also being treated in the same manner. Why? There is so much wastage of lychee every year. So much wastage of lychee every year. It is becoming rotten. It is being thrown in the fields. It is thrown in the landfills. It had such a stinky smell also at that time. And at the same time, in various other cities of India, we are having scarcity of lychee or lychee being sold at extremely high prices. Farmers are getting very few amount of it. Retailers and the middlemen are getting the profit, and huge amount of lychee is going to waste every year. Every year. So this is one part which we see, that inadequate post-storage households, food services and retail, they are the one who are responsible for this food wastage. Majority part is for the post-harvest and households. The majority part is for households and the inadequate post-harvest storage. So now the thing is, like, if we are having this one thing, we have got inadequate covered storage facility. There is an underinvestment in cold chain infrastructure and timely mechanization support. There is a lack of grading, standardization and scientific packaging. They are one of the major pullbacks. They are one of the major lacuna in the system. Why we are having a huge amount of post-harvest losses. When we talk about this, generally the entire focus shift to this part कि लोग जो रेस्टोरेंट्स में जाते हैं वो खाना छोड़ देते हैं जिसके कारण खाना वेस्ट हो रहा है. But this is just like one thing which is visible in front of us. जो हमें सामने से दिखता है उसी को बस हम टैकल कर रहे हैं. But the thing which is actually not being tackled and the one which is responsible for major loss is the inadequate post-harvest storage facilities. So there is a lack of focus on this part. There is a lack of focus on this part that we are not having the cold chains. We are not having the adequate supply chains. इस पे focus नहीं है. The focus is on the food left in the plates only. So again, there is a selective approach in managing the food waste also. So this is also one of the challenge. Okay. Now, just to give an example, post-harvest loss of fruit and vegetable in Punjab are around 20% before they are eaten. So around 20% of food is lost. Around fruits and vegetables is lost just because of lack of adequate storage facility. What we also see, around 8,200 tons of food grains are getting spoiled in Food Corporation of India storage facility. Okay. So we are having a storage facility in form of Food Corporation of India, and there also we see that huge amount of food is getting into waste material. तो वहां भी food हमारा waste हो रहा है. So that is also one part. Okay. Now what is the solution? One part is we have to legislate against waste and legislate for sharing. Okay. So just to give an example, there are many such European nations. We have made it illegal for supermarkets to destroy unsold edible food. Okay. So many of the retail outlets, many of the distributors, they cannot destroy the food items. They have to donate it on a timely basis. They have to donate it on a timely basis to some food banks. And these food banks then will be redistributing the food among the poor. There is this one part also. Then we see that, so we need a law to redistribute surplus food backed by tax incentive for business and institutions. That there are so many supermarket chains now. If they're having some food items which is going to waste, they can simply donate it and they might be provided some tax incentive for this purpose. Then we have the second option, empower the farmer. Okay. So there must be a mechanized drying, hermetic storage bags and mobile cold units. We must have vacuum sealed packaging of the food products. इंडिया में एक चीज स्टार्ट की गई, we are going to have jute bag packaging. Jute bag packaging may be environment friendly, but it is not friendly for the food. We are seeing it just from one side कि हम ऐसा एक packaging ला रहे which is sustainable for the environment. But you have not seen the other part कि when you are packaging in jute bags, it will not be sustainable for the food. The food will be easily spoiled. So we need to have the vacuum sealed packaging for it. We need to have mobile cold units and mechanized dryings. So jute bags are not the solution. There is a need to change the law. Okay. So there is a Jute Packaging Material Acts. So there is a requirement of grain storage in porous jute sacks. So where we are having a porous jute bags in which we are storing the grains. The grains are getting infected. They are getting spoiled. So we are wasting huge amount of food just because we want to promote jute on one side. Jute can be used for other purposes. There can be other usage of jute. Why you need to provide the jute bags for grain storage? So that is the second part. The third part is like the waste should be visible. Okay. So we don't have a consolidated national database of tracking the food waste. So United Nations Environment Program is tracking it. But at national level, we are not able to track it. So when we are tracking it, when it will be visible to the people, जैसे आज आपको मालूम चला कि we have got 1.55 lakh crore of money going to waste and our food subsidy bill is 2.27 lakh crore. So then you are thinking that we are spending this much money and we are losing this much money. In same manner, if people are having an idea that how much food is getting wasted, how much food is getting wasted in a particular city or a particular area, then there will be action on it. So again, we need a tracking of the food waste. Okay. So these all things can be there. These all options can be made available. Okay. So on the basis of this, we have a question. The coexistence of 1 billion tons of wasted food and 1 billion hungry stomach is not an irony. It is an indictment for inefficiency and apathy. Examine the causes of food wastage in India and suggest measures. The ecological limits of our river are often compromised by our traditional and cultural practices. Comment. Okay. तो दो क्वेश्चन है आपके पास. I hope all these 3 articles are clear. पहला article था about the river pollution. Second article was about heat wave. And the third article was with respect to the food waste. So I hope all these 3 articles are clear to all of you. तो इस पे आंसर लिखा जा सकता है तीनों पे. Yeah, I will talk to the team about this. Okay. I will pass your message to the team with respect to this. Okay. So that will be all for today. So thank you so much, everyone. Take care and all the best.